Everyone has a purpose in life and a unique talent to give to others. And when we blend this unique talent with service to others, we experience the ecstasy and the exaltation of our spirit, which is the ultimate goal of all goals. That is a quote from Kalam Anji Reddy, an entrepreneur, and what I shared on hopeisnotaplan.org on a post I called How Project Managers Can Wield a Shepherd's Crook. And also the title of today's episode, where I share the analogy between how project managers can monitor their teams and redirect them, just like a shepherd uses the curved portion of their staff, the crook, to guide sheep and keep them out of danger, because we have to be prepared, because hope is not a plan. Welcome to the Hope is Not a Plan podcast, where we address tough questions head on, face our problems, and highlight our hopes by providing actionable planning steps to improve ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Now, let's get logged in and get locked on to this episode of the Hope is Not a Plan podcast. So my post on hopeisnotaplan.org and this episode was inspired by the daily reflection that is something that Jeff Cavins puts out on the Hallow app. And he mentioned people being lost in their faith, that pillar 7 that I share that's so important to me and I believe for anyone in balancing their life. And so we talked about people being lost and how shepherds use the crook, or that curved part of the staff that they have, right? And so to me, I always think about parallels between leadership and team, project facilitation and project management, of course. And so what I thought of and what I think is pertinent to you all, if you're leading efforts, whether you're an official project manager or you want to get into it, is that when we're selected as project managers and given tremendous responsibility, we are asked to manage a budget that's not ours, to keep the team within a scope we didn't create, to often, start and end on a schedule maybe that already existed that we didn't create with the team, or there's expectations of it. And throughout all of this, we have to keep the quality of the work high. But how do we keep the flock moving together? Well, today I'm going to talk about how we can break out the virtual, metaphorical shepherd's crook and help our team stay directed. And so in wielding this shepherd's crook, the first thing I want to talk about is scope, the wandering sheep. And scope can get all over the place, right? And often in a project, we have stakeholders that constantly want to add things. Well, what if we did this? And how about that? And this seems cool, and this could make a difference. But for us, our project manager's crook for the wandering sheep is to gently redirect them to those SMART objectives, right? Those specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based objectives that we're going to plan towards fully for the project, because we're not just flying blind and getting work done. And then we also want to redirect to what done looks like. Does done look like that we keep adding things and it takes longer and it costs more and it burns our folks out? Or does done look like this thing that we said we would do to solve this problem by kind of this time? And that's a huge part of what project managers do. They remind folks, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. Can we add scope at times? Absolutely. But it should be through good discussion, through decision making, through cost benefit, level of effort analysis. And we'll talk about some of that in a little bit. But it shouldn't just be on a whim because something looks cool or a vendor sells us on an idea. So the wandering sheep needs redirection back to what our objectives are and what done looks like. Then there is the true lost sheep in the schedule area of our project, right? And the stakeholder is unsure of what's done and what's being done, and that's on us to communicate. So the crook here for a project manager, the ability for us to redirect, is regularly review like a burn down chart, particularly if you're doing agile or you're just you can use a burn down chart for anything, right? That's a graph that shows the volume of work and the percent that's being done. It should come down to the right to 0 or meet, hey, we have this many hours and we've done this many hours, and at some point they should meet and even out. And that's good for maybe construction build outs or, of course, agile sprints, things like that. And also Gantt charts. Gantt charts are a time honored tradition in project management, but they show here's what the schedule is like, or here's the work that's to be done, and here's how it lines up where it overlaps. And that can redirect the stakeholder that's unsure to say, hey, here's what we've done. Here's where we're at. Here's the percent complete. Here's where we're headed. And use those as a regular review on your weekly status or ad hoc and make them available. It's also, we need to know that balance of how to push information and hope folks will pull it from a site or from a shared space. But largely, that lost sheep needs a reminder of the way that we're all headed as a flock together on this project. And then cost, this is where I've seen maybe the indecisive sheep, right? Where the stakeholder is unable to make a decision related to additional costs or cost savings because, hey, money doesn't grow on trees, right? Every organization doesn't have limitless money. Budgets are tight. We have to do what we can to optimize the money that we do have for this project. So I get it. So for us as project managers, the crook we could use there is a consistent review of what is proposed to be spent, what have we committed but we didn't write the check yet, and then what project costs have we already spent, like with a purchase order. So we know, hey, we're thinking about this. Okay, we've committed to this, but we didn't cut the check. And then, okay, we've paid for these things. And we're keeping that tally from the beginning of the project, and usually for bigger things, right? If we have a set schedule and we're not going to have ad hoc costs, which could crop up on their own, but it's good to track those. And the other thing is to look at a cost benefit analysis. So if we're going to empower our business owners or our sponsors to make a better decision, and that's what we should always be doing as project managers, or if you're managing a program, how can I give leaders the information they need to make a better decision? And if you look at a cost benefit analysis, like, hey, if we spend this money and this time, we will get this much savings, either in bulk purchase or because we will get the right work done faster, even though it costs a little bit more, or we can take longer to do it. There's all these different, things, and there's tons of templates out there to do a cost benefit analysis. But basically you want to see, is the money we're going to spend worth it? Does it make us better? Will it put us in the hole for a bit, but in the long term, it's better? And so it's good to talk about all those things. So help the indecisive sheep make decisions by, shepherding them toward the data that kind of cues up a better discussion for them. And the last thing here is quality of the half-shorn sheep. So some sheep are shorn only half because it's more efficient. It keeps them cool in the summer, but if it's cold, they can still turn a certain way and be protected. And it's wild looking. If you've ever seen a half-shorn sheep, look it up. That's pretty neat. But, the stakeholder for us here is concerned about maybe defects or meeting the deliverables with high quality. Maybe they don't understand that what they think isn't high quality is actually how it's supposed to be. Or legitimately, we're not getting high quality and we need them to be engaged. And so for us as the project manager, the crook that we can use is plan for dedicated time to conduct that user acceptance training, right? So we want the people we're doing this project for to say, I tested this project or this device or this system or this workflow or this software or whatever it is, and I tested it while you were building it and not just at the end. And here's what I think about it. Here's the feedback, or yep, that works great. And then they tell us what it is, which helps our stakeholders, all feel better about it. And then also track those defects along the way, right? And have regular retrospectives. So that's an agile kind of thing, but it's really lessons learned with a different term. But when we do the work, say we do a sprint that's a week, we're going to look back and say what worked well, what didn't, how was the quality? Okay, next sprint, we're going to build on this and improve on that. And that will help shape the better picture of why is this sheep half shorn? Well, here's why, because the specs required this and we actually decided to make it look like that. So sometimes work that seems off is actually on. We just have to have the discussion about it. So thank you all for listening. Pretty short episode. It's kind of an audio version of the blog post, and I'll link that, of course, in the show notes. Thanks again for going to hopeisnotaplan.org, for following me on Twitter and Instagram at Hope's Not a Plan. There's a Facebook page and YouTube channel at Hope Is Not a Plan, where I share fitness 15 seconds at a time largely, and we're creeping up on 450,000 views now. Thank you all so much for going to Hope Is Not a Plan YouTube channel. Gets ideas to do. Today I did sprints. It's good to mix it up, right? Go for a walk, do some sprints, lift some weights, do some yoga, get some mindfulness. All the things that are good for our body are generally good for our mind. And you all have been great for me at this Hope Is Not a Plan podcast. So thank you so much for your time. In closing, consider this. Project managers like shepherds face similar challenges and opportunities, right? The group shepherds and project managers lead must all move in the same direction to keep them safe. Shepherds and PMs must ultimately ensure the flock arrives at the same location. As a project manager, consider how you can use your metaphorical shepherd's crook to keep your teams in scope, on time, under budget, and with high quality outputs. Stay safe, everybody. Direct your flock the best way that you can, and Godspeed.